Hi and welcome to the channel Love Obstetrics and Gynecology. In my previous Bishop's course video, I discussed about the cervical dilatation and the cervical length. In this video, I'll talk about the other aspect of the Bishop's course, that is the cervical consistency, the cervical position and the fetal head station. So first, the cervical consistency. See, the cervix undergoes extensive remodeling during the pregnancy and labor. So a non-pregnant cervix has higher content of collagen, and that collagen is very tightly packed. So it gives us a feel that is firm feel. Then as the pregnancy begins and throughout the pregnancy, the cervix keeps on remodeling. That means the collagen content keeps on decreasing and the hyaluronic acid plus the water content keeps on increasing. And as the patient goes in labor, there will be release of prostaglandins. And these prostaglandins are going to activate the enzyme that is metalloproteinase. That enzyme is going to cause the breakdown of collagen. And then there will also be an increased vascularity and stromal and glandular hypertrophy. All of that is going to give the cervix a soft consistency. So as per our Bishop score, we have 0, 1, 2 scoring given as 0 to the firm, 1 to the medium consistency and 2 means soft. Now on the practicality of this, let's talk about what is the firm consistency. The firm consistency means that it is hard and rubbery, almost like a tip of your nose. The next thing we say is, let's go to the other extreme part, that is the soft part. We say that the cervix is soft, that means it feels like just as we are touching our lips or the ear lobules. Or we can also say that it gives us a mushy feel consistency. Now talking about the medium consistency, it lies somewhere between the firm and the soft consistency. So medium consistency is when the cervix is compressible but not soft. Now let's talk about the cervix position. So cervix position basically means the position of cervix in relation to the fetal head as well as the birth canal. So if the patient is not in labor, the cervix is going to be posterior. And how am I saying it? That means that basically your cervix is going to point towards the sacrum or towards the back of the patient. So if you are doing a per vaginum examination, so as you are going to do the per vaginum examination, you have to go towards the posterior fornix, and somewhere there you are going to feel the cervix tip. So that means your cervix is posterior and we give it as a 0 score. Now talking about the anterior. As the labor is going to progress, the cervix is going to move more towards in line with the birth canal and it is going to come anteriorly. So if you are doing a per vaginum examination and you find the cervix right just in line with the birth canal towards the anterior, that means the cervix is anterior and you give the score as 2. And mid position is somewhere between the posterior and the anterior. Now talking about the most important assessment in the Bishop score, which is the fetal station. Basically that means we want to check the where is the leading most point on that fetal presenting part, and where does that part lies in relation to the ischial spines. So firstly talking about this Bishop score, it came in 1964. At that time the fetal stations were calculated differently. How? So the ischial spines, that was same. Ischial spines are considered as the midline between the pelvic inlet and the pelvic outlet. So we give the ischial spines as a station 0. Then we divide the upper part as well as the lower part, that is the upper part above the ischial spine and below the ischial spine, into 3 equal parts, right? Which means that the stations used to vary between -3 to +3. These are not as exactly as 1 centimeter apart, which was given later on by the ACOG. So ACOG has a different kind of fetal heads, fetal station determination. the ACOG gave in 1989. So according to that, we have stations from -5 to +5. But as per the Bishop score, we have to see the fetal stations as -3 to +3. So now talking about how we give the score. See, -3 over here means that the fetal head is not at all engaged. It is above the pelvic brim. And +3 means that it is just about to crown. So here -3 means that the head is not at all engaged. We give it as score 0. -2 means that the head is slightly engaged. We give it as score 1. Now -1 and 0 scores are given when the head is very nicely engaged, and when the fetal station has crossed the ischial spine, we give the score as 2. So now just revising all the points of the Bishop score. So there are 4 points of the cervix and 1 of the fetus. The 4 points of the cervix are cervix dilatation, cervical length, the cervix consistency, cervix position, and the one of the fetus is of the fetal station. For the first 2 of the cervix, dilatation and length, we have a scoring from 0 to 3. And for the cervix consistency and position, we have the scoring from 0 to 2. And again for the fetal station, we have from 0 to 3. So firstly talking about the dilatation. As the cervix is going to dilate, we are going to give a more higher score. Same if we talk about the cervical length, as the cervix is going to shorten, the score will be higher. The cervical consistency, as it changes from the firm to a soft consistency, the score will be higher. From now talking about the cervix position, as it is going to come in line with the birth canal, that is from a posterior position to an anterior position, we are going to give a higher score. Now talking about the fetal station, from the head being not engaged to the head that has crossed the ischial spine, this is how our score varies. Now, after calculating the score from these, we have to also obtain the history of the patient, because there are 5 important points that we need to consider which may increase or decrease the score. The first thing is, if the patient is having a prior vaginal delivery, we are going to give keep on adding the score as many prior vaginal deliveries she has. Supposingly, if she has 1 prior vaginal delivery, we add +1. If she had 2, then +2. Then if she had 3, then +3 till 10. We can give it more higher score. Next is preeclampsia. In preeclampsia, all is a condition where the patient is having a higher BP and it is affecting the systemic organs also. So in that condition also, we are going to add a score of more than +1. Next we have is the 3 conditions where we decrease the score by 1. That is in the post-dated pregnancy, if the patient is nulliparous, or we have a condition that is premature pre-labor rupture of membranes. In that condition, we have to deduce 1 from the total score. So now after adding up whole of the score, let's go for the interpretation of it. If the score is 5 or less than 5, we say that the patient is not yet favorable. Patient does not have a favorable Bishop score for a vaginal delivery. If it is between 6 to 7, we can say that the patient might go into labor if we induce, and there are very less chances of a spontaneous vaginal delivery. And if the score is 8 or more, that means our induction or our the patient is is having a highly favorable score for a vaginal delivery. So this was all regarding the Bishop score. I hope you like my video. Please do like, subscribe and share the channel Love Obstetrics and Gynecology. Thanks for watching.